Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Smashi Business Show. Today is Tuesday, January 13th, 2026, and I'm Abdul Majid Awan.
And I'm Richard Fitzgerald. Good morning.
Yeah, and it's a good morning. It's a cool morning, but very interesting headlines today. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid tweeted about Dubai's real estate records AED 917 billion in historic 2025 numbers. Apart from that, Abu Dhabi Crown Prince has been named the chairman of Imad Holding, the company which surfaced when the Paramount bid for WBD came up. We'll tell you the structure now. It's going to be a sovereign fund, independent sovereign fund. Apart from that, MCG Talent, a very old talent management company, 15 years, I think, Rich, in the industry. They've completed a 7-figure management buyout. Basically, they've been sold. And Charlie Bowsher is now the CEO. And Justin, the original founder, is going to be the chairman and advisor. We'll discuss in detail that too. But Sharjah Entrepreneurship Festival 2026 is happening on January 31 and Feb 1. It's a 2-day event. So we have a lot of big names this year. Last year we also had big names. Bengati was there. We interviewed him. Mohammed Bengati. Worth was there. She interviewed him. We had a lot of speakers, but this time it's Hamad Al-Hajri, founder and CEO of Snunu. Jahara is one of the Pakistani. She's considered the mother of Pakistani tech industry.
She's a long-time family friend, Jahan. She's done great work in Karachi all those years, and it's great that she's coming to SEF.
Yeah, and Amal Al-Mari is their co-founder of independent food company Salt, the brand that we cover a lot. Sebastian Vettel, 4-time Formula One world champion, is going to be there.
I met him in his prime in Abu Dhabi in 2024 at Red Bull when he was winning all around him. But yeah, it's cool.
And this is the surprise entry. Amreen Musa, GCC CEO, Revolut. She's only done 2 interviews since she's been appointed. And she is going to be there, so that's going to be interesting. Switch Food is a company which we covered recently. They've moved into UK. It's a homegrown Abu Dhabi brand, vegan food basically.
Yeah, so Edward Hamid is the founder and CEO of Switch Foods, and another big speaker who's coming to SEF the 30th to the 31st of January, Sharjah Entrepreneurship Festival. It really is a festival.
Yeah.
It's young people, you've got big names, like the sort of up and coming leaders in a sort of startup ecosystem. Vadim Fedorov, the chairman and co-founder of Bionic, known guest of Smashi Business. He's a basketball guy. He's on the board of Dubai Basketball, and he's built an amazing supplements brand, patented product. I use it myself. I should
Bionic?
disclose. And sponsored by partnership with Ronaldo. They do the blood. So he's speaking. He's the CEO, the co-founder and chairman of Bionic, and you have Rania Masri Al-Khatib, the CEO of the Giving Movement, formerly CMO of IMI. Which we often talk about. So it'll be great to see her vision, her plans for the Giving Movement on stage at SEF. So big speakers. And I think they might be working on another surprise big name if conversations behind the scenes are to come to fruition. But there's already a stellar lineup here. So yeah.
Yeah, and another interesting person I found out of there was 110 people list, had to use ChatGPT and Claude both to extract all the names, but Shehzad Yunus, he's the founder and CEO of Muz. It's a Muslim dating app. We recently saw some story about it. Mazin is there, House of Pops. We cover him a lot also. Very interesting person. And Keeper co-founder Walid Shahabi, he's also...
He's been on this show a lot before,
And one of the founders of Sarva, Nadine Mazhar is also coming. These are the names,
Okay.
So
Brilliant.
It's going to be interesting. It's under Shera, the Sharjah Entrepreneurship Research, the whole foundation. And we covered the CEO of it, the chairman now. She was the CEO, now the chairman. Her a lot. But yeah, the first story for today is... His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid. I think the prompter.
We've been talking a lot lately about property numbers in UAE, and the numbers for the property figure that His Highness talked about for Dubai.
917 billion dirhams in transactions during 2025. That marks a 20% increase year on year.
So that's about $350 billion.
Yes, that's a big number just in property.
Yeah, it just shows that why the economy, people think of it as an oil economy, but the capital involved in those transactions is major. And it's a 20% year-over-year increase. The transactions are 270,000, again up 20% on 24, 680 billion real estate investments, 29% annual growth. Investor numbers, there's 193,100 investors in Dubai real estate, 24% up. He's quoted as saying, in our country, we say what we do and we do what we say. So inspiring stuff for Dubai real estate.
Yeah, and the main important part, I think, is that the strategy was to go to 1 trillion by 2033. It's 2026, just the start, and they've
don't
reached
curse
that.
it, don't curse it. That's as soon as you think you're about to blow past a number, and it's a big number like a trillion, it goes downhill. So let's see.
Yeah.
We'll
So
put you on
really
this
interesting numbers, obviously. A lot of property companies have been doing their reports. 500 and 300 to 500 is the number that was floated. But finally, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, the Dubai ruler, gives us the original current numbers for
just
the
have
whole
a flick
year.
at the Smashi Business newsletter today and yesterday. You'll see Mohammed Al Abar is doing Symphony Global 20-year deal to develop Armani hotels and resorts. You've got stories of Abu Dhabi-based Asif Aziz plants his flagship 732-room UK renowned London hotel. So he's sort of opening that in the St. Giles, London. He sees that, so ownership. So there's a lot of movers and shakers. The capital of capital is at play. We've got other stories there about Starlink. We've got stories about health tech in Egypt. We've got stories about, we can segue nicely into a story that you were talking about. So the Abu Dhabi.
So Le Imad, a lot of people are calling it Al Imad also, but Le Imad Holding is a company which His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan has been appointed as chairman of, and the board of directors are there. The Supreme Council for Financial and Economic Affairs announced the formation of the board for the Abu Dhabi Sovereign Investment Platform, and the board includes big names. His Excellency Khaldoon Khalifa Al Mubarak, the man behind Mubadala, we always talk about him. His Excellency Jasim Mohammed Bu Ataba Al Zabi, he is the head of Added Abu Dhabi Department of Economic Development. Apart from that, he's the managing director and CEO of a lot of companies. And there's His Excellencies Ahmed Mubarak bin Navi Al Mazrui, Muhammad Ali Al Sharafa, Saif Saeed Ghobash, Walid Al Mukarrab Al Muhairi, and Kamal Ishaq Al Mazmi. They're all members of the board. The name came up in the Paramount bid, in the whole bid that they sent to WBD, the $108 billion bid that Le Imad Holding will come. Then we talked about it on the show a little bit, that they took on Modon Holdings, which was Abu Dhabi based. And now they've finally established a structure. It's so interesting to see that it's being called the independent investment platform. A lot of things that we see coming out of here are usually government-backed, Abu Dhabi-backed, we say government-supported, but this one is independent.
It is interesting how these vehicles spin up, and there's definitely sort of synergies between them with similar people on the top.
Yeah.
But operationally, they might have different theses and also different speed and nimble way. As sovereign wealth funds are getting really big, and when you're managing a lot of assets, you mightn't be doing a lot of fast deals. Maybe, I don't know. But I find it interesting because, from the media point of view, the bid for WBD, the Paramount one, we talked about $8 billion bid sovereign wealth funds in the Gulf to meet the threshold, $24 billion. They wouldn't pass the threshold of ownership. They wouldn't get a board seat. But IMI, Redbird IMI. So Redbird are the large, Jerry Cardinale's large private equity firm in the US. They were involved in the Paramount original acquisition. So Paramount Skydance, David Ellison, Larry Ellison's son, they did that deal for about $8 billion not so long ago, and then they did $150 million purchase of the Free Press at sort of right-wing, borderline extremist title in the US, and they sort of merged that into with their news channels over there, and now they're going for Warner Brothers Discovery. But the IMI setup in Abu Dhabi was, IMI Redbird is a JV. Yeah. So you would have thought that maybe the entity, the revenue from, you would have thought that if there is an $8 billion bid coming out of Abu Dhabi, that it might be through that Redbird IMI. Yeah. But if it's Le Imad, how do I pronounce it?
Le Imad.
Yeah, Le Imad. If it's with them, then the money's coming through the vehicle. You also covered last year, Majid, that Ari Emanuel's Mari was also partly funded through Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to know if that, it's talked about a couple of $1 billion there to tap into the sort of experiential events like Freeze Art Fair and some of the tennis events and things like that, or Banales. So basically, is that an IMI Redbird deal with Mari? Or is it
so it's not a Redbird IMI deal, it's a specifically IMI deal where the second party is QIA, Qatar Investment Authority.
But Redbird are involved, that's what I mean. Like, are Redbird exclusively involved in the US? Or like, what's the functioning role of Redbird IMI? Like, what are they doing now? Like, is IMI, who are at all these events, who have CNN Arabic, who have The National, who have Sky News Arabia, like, are they, if there's that, and if there's the investment funds that let him out, where does it leave this media investment vehicle of Redbird IMI?
The JV was mainly, as I remember correctly, it was for the Telegraph. So first time they came together was for the Telegraph, because he wanted some part of it and Abu Dhabi also obviously wanted some part of it. But then we saw what happened to the Telegraph. They were allowed to only own 15% because outside investor may influence media. But then even that, they're like now selling it to the Daily Telegraph. The Daily Mail guy, he's now coming to buy it. So it's very interesting that JV was specifically to start the Telegraph sale, which didn't happen. After that, I think I haven't seen any news of that JV being used to do something. So most probably, maybe eventually they will, but it was specifically for the Telegraph sale. So.
Obviously there's a lot of investment vehicles down there in Abu Dhabi, and maybe, with this new leadership structure, we'll see some more bids for big prizes.
And Limad has already done Modon. They're also going to invest outside. That's the very interesting part, that Modon was the only local investment. They're looking more outside. That's what the
And the Paramount bid isn't over. There's a lot of debate in the US media podcast about it. It'll drag on for a while, but it's not over.
Yeah, the latest update is that Paramount couldn't do anything because WBD rejected their last bid again, the second time. They're saying it's not equal. Basically, the Crapcos and the Spincos that you were talking about, that was the whole contention point. WBD says that they're not paying enough for them, and Paramount says that no, in the 108 billion bid, we are paying enough for them. Yesterday, the latest update on the drama, the latest episode is that Paramount is now trying to change the board at WBD. So everyone called it a proxy forceful move. So if the board changes, obviously maybe people will come in place who will say yes to the Paramount bid. Netflix is sitting on the side enjoying the show. Their bid is the one that has been accepted, but there is no news from Netflix. It's just Paramount trying to get in, and Netflix is sitting and enjoying on the side. But the last story of the day is another one. It's kind of a M&A, I wouldn't say M&A, it's a buyout. Dubai-based recruitment firm MCG Talent has completed a 7-figure management buyout. That was the exact words that they're using, but it's quite kind of a sale. It marks a significant milestone in the company's 15-year history. Charlie Bowsher has acquired majority ownership of the firm's Middle East and Asia operations, while the founder, Justin Maguire, achieves a 7-figure exit. I think this is his third exit, according to his LinkedIn bio. And Maguire, who established MCD Talent in 2010, will remain actively involved as chairman. In the morning, I was looking at his LinkedIn post. He wrote it like 2 hours ago that, all the news and selling thing is done. Now I'm starting as chairman today. And he's also the advisor to ensure continuity. And Rich was telling me yesterday, it's a very interesting story. 15 years in the industry, and then they sell. Management buyout, okay, good word for selling the company, but he stays as chairman and an advisor.
Yeah, I think, the region has been built on the back of, we talked about real estate a lot, and, obviously there's consultants, but in the media advertising space, Dubai has been quite good at that. Like a lot of multinational firms have been here. We talked lately about the Omnicom sort of IPG merger. All those entities are across the region. There's WPP, all those creative services industries. We have Meta, we have Snap, we have TikTok, we have LinkedIn. And over the last 15 years, these jobs have grown and grown and grown. And they're one of the sort of above the service level jobs, right? Like they're this sector. They're sort of, do we call it white collar or blue collar? White collar?
Blue collar, let's
collar,
call it blue
yeah.
collar.
Yeah, white collar, blue collar. But it's basically, it's the jobs that Saudi are trying to get going. And people like Justin, who were in the recruitment space in London, came over here about 15 years ago or so and established MCG Talent, and he expanded it to Singapore. He expanded many different arms of it.
Yeah.
And, these agencies have grown on the back of that, and these people have helped bring in the talent that people like Hussain Sheikh Mohammed talk about needing, right? Like Dubai needed to attract talent, and these recruitment firms have done it. What the story is here, we talked 5 months ago on Smashi Business that he sold to the same individual his Singapore entity in a buyout. And you would have thought that would be it, but they obviously got on well in how they did that deal. Everyone, it was a win-win. They were talking to each other afterwards. So the win-win from the Singapore deal became the continued buyout of the rest. So it meaning that Justin has sold out of MCG, and obviously will be there as an advisor and chairman, and then a 7-figure number. So anywhere between $10 million and $99,999,000.
I'm hoping it's in the middle.
Yeah, well, it's just, we talked about like service agencies, digital agencies, PR agencies. This is recruitment.
Yeah.
It's a recruitment firm. There aren't that many acquisitions of recruitment firms. And it just does show that, like, inspiring for people out there, if you're building something, keep building.
Yeah.
You mightn't get the exit you want in one day. It might take a year or two, it might take 15 years. But if you do want an exit, and you might get to keep running, there are examples of M&A and different types of exits, right? Like you could sell to multinational, you could sell to a regional family office, you could go public, and now in this level, management buyout. So management buyout effectively means someone on the board or someone in the company has put together the funds through different mechanisms. It can be outside investment, it can be institutional finance, it can be personal funding, but they put together the funds to buy out the shares of the management. So basically it is an exit and there is funding going in, but it does look like the MCG Talent will still be a brand that people know about. So all those people who want jobs here, do keep talking to MCG. And if you're in jobs here and you want to have other jobs, they're also the company for you.
Yeah, we'll have a look at it closely. We'll see where Justin's journey takes us. He is very active on LinkedIn, so we'll start actively following a lot more to see how this management buyout works. But thank you so much for today. That's a wrap for today. Apart from Sharjah Entrepreneurship Festival, we also have Web Summit coming up. They will coincide on the 1st. So Sharjah Entrepreneurship Festival is Feb 31 and 1st.
Sunday 1st. Yeah, I think the Sunday in Doha is more like a registration day. They do have a few side events, but really there's an opening ceremony about 8 or 9 p.m. In that magnificent hall there in central Doha. So basically that event happens at about 7 or 8 p.m. and they usually have a talk at that evening. Queen Rani has spoken before, Amjad Masad. They have the Prime Minister of Qatar. And then you start your 3 days of programming, full content, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's an excellent event. This is the 3rd year. So the Web Summit attract 80,000 people or 90 to Lisbon every year. They just had their event in November, and they'll move from Qatar swiftly on to Rio de Janeiro in Brazil for, again, their 3rd year in May. Paddy Cosgrove put some numbers up on his LinkedIn, his 2025 numbers up. They crossed over to $100 million revenue. Nice. In a sector, he sort of boastfully showing empathy to the sector. At the end of his post, he sort of said, we know that loads of people are going out of business, so it's not lost on us that we're doing well. He tried to do it in a nice way, but basically they're doing amazing. They're an Irish company. They bring up over all their talent and staff into Doha. Programming and content is excellent. We'll talk about the speakers there. Let's keep this for the big up the SEF. And then obviously we have, swiftly followed by that on the 12th of Feb, you have Step Summit, Ray Dargan back into Dubai, the OG one there as well. But yeah, Web Summit will be on the ground like we always are. And as you said, there's a bit of an overlap. But if someone's really keen to listen to the best and to network and even to pitch, on Saturday morning, go to Sharjah. Do 2 days there, get in the plane to Doha, do Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday in Web Summit, come back for a breather of a bit of work in Dubai. And
I think Hamad Al Hajri, the Snoonoo's founder, he will be doing that because he's coming to Sharjah Entrepreneurship Festival. So I think he'll come on the first day, and then maybe he'll be there at Web Summit, because last year they also had a
I'm
booth.
100% sure Snoonoo will be very present at
Yeah.
Web Summit. They always have a big booth, and he's always speaking. And he's a good speaker at many events. He spoke at Rise Up in Egypt, which is also, we spoke to Abashara yesterday, the founder of Rise Up. They're doing their third or fourth time at the Grand Egyptian Museum. They've been going for about 10, 12 years as well. And they've a really interesting view on content. They're scrapping panels. Imagine scrapping panels at conferences.
So
They're doing a lot of podcasts, a lot of talks, a lot of
nice.
interactive sessions, a lot of keynotes, a lot of demos. So they have a whole different view of content this year. So that's happening as well in Egypt in that Feb time. So after, I'd said come back and rest in Dubai before Web Summit, before Step, I should say, in the 12th. Don't get in a plane to Egypt. Go over to see the Grand Egyptian Museum. Get in Rise Up for 3-4 days and come back. So if you want to do 4 conferences from the 30th of January before Ramadan, there you go.
There's another one, World Government Summit. Remember, Elon Musk was
Are they
online.
squashing that one in as well?
So it's 3rd, 4th, and 5th Feb. So exactly.
Oh my
nailed
God.
it. So I think that week has 3 big events, and World Government Summit is big because it's all by the government of Dubai, and all the governments coming, all the ministers, prime minister, presidents. Last year, Elon Musk spoke via video call, which he's been doing very commonly. So it's a lot happening, but before Ramadan, it's going to be a lot. But we'll keep you updated as much as we can. Thank you so much for today. That's a wrap up. Thank you for tuning into the Smashi Business Show. Make sure to follow us across all social media channels. We're everywhere at Smashi Business, and stay ahead with our daily newsletter. You'll find the subscription link in the description.
This has been a Smashi Business Show, part of the Smashi Business production. You can get this in Arabic as well. We have over 2 million monthly reach across, I think the Apple Podcast Network for Gustus Media has 48 shows. So there's a lot of content out there. Most of them are 5 episodes a week. So you won't be lost on news in the region, that's for sure. Have a good day. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.